Hellier. In Hellier, they specifically talk about Brown Mountain in this area. They talk about it pretty extensively. I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but the series kind of touches on, Brown Mountain and its connections to underground caves and bases and UFO abductions and occult activity. So this kind of ties into the whole missing 411, strange happenings with orbs and whatnot. Like, again, there's something there. I don't know all the connections, but there it is.
Hey, you know what they are? They're markers so that people know that there's a cave to land in. Is that a possibility that anybody's ever said, that they got to project? It's just like a runway, runways have the lights so you know where to land at. If you have an underground base, you can't just have a straight fucking runway that everybody can see. If you just have one light up in the sky, you can go, okay, entrance is down there. So
yeah, and possibility. What's so interesting about this case in particular to me is, I think a lot of this stuff on the surface, people wouldn't see these connections. And it took me a while of compiling the notes and going through stuff to be like, oh my God, all these ancient, accounts, legends, what have you, they're talking about missing people. They're talking about missing people in a national forest. Like, this is stuff we talk about all the time now. And it's here from shit over 100 years ago, and it's right in front of us. And like I always say, you just kind of got to dig below the surface and put the pieces together just a little bit, and all these weird connections kind of start popping up.
I'm kind of curious if these old cases had some of the same things as the current missing 411 cases, where it was like clothes folded neatly, left in a specific area, shoes left over here, but then other pieces found like a mile away from this area. Like, obviously, we don't have as much documentation of all of these old cases, but I wonder if they had a lot of this type of stuff, but it wasn't documented too.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't just like a normal person vanished, gone. Because that's, you're in a national forest. People can fall into caverns, they can fall into caves, never be seen again. But when you have like the folded clothes or the left shoes, like if you fell into a cave, like why would you have folded your clothes neatly before you fell into a cave? Like you just decided to go into a cave naked? Like that's a thing that we do now?
Yeah, and like we said,
I just like the way the rocks feel on my skin.
I think there's enough here to unpack that there's something weird going on. And there's just too many connections to too many other things. And like you said, we're never going to have all those accounts of these 100-plus-year-old stories, but it checks enough boxes to me that I think there's some evidence of something here.
100%.
So, and kind of like we said earlier, I think the scientific quote unquote explanations don't really hold water. Just the conditions aren't right in this area or this location, or the weather phenomenon that are observed. Like, it can't be all because of the scientific weather theories. It can't be all because of locomotive headlights. There's something going on. The question is it completely natural, or is it something stranger? And I think it's a combination of both, but I think it's largely, there's something kind of weird going on in this area.